For most of my life, I've swayed more towards PCs, mainly Windows machines, but I did dabble off and on in the marvelous world of Macs, primarily for work back then. While I appreciate Apple's hardware and its operating system, I just felt more comfortable on a Windows machine. I guess this could be due to years and years of using them, or maybe just good old-fashioned brand loyalty. Then a year and some change ago, a series of events motivated me to make some adjustments. My wife and I were expecting an addition to our family, and I wanted a more mobile solution in my workspace. I also was feeling that the Windows experience was getting too cumbersome. For instance, I had to get a separate Wi-Fi dongle, Bluetooth adapter, microphone, camera, and so on. And if something wasn't working, I had to spend valuable time troubleshooting. Seeing that my time soon would be limited, I wanted a mobile, all-in-one solution with fewer things to tweak. Then the biggest thing happened. Apple announced their sweet silicon goodness, and my curiosity was piqued. I then embarked on an Apple Silicon information-fueled escapade that lasted weeks, maybe months. It's still a little blurry. I drank the Apple Kool-Aid and I was committed. Not like 2 dates committed, but like married, sharing a bank account, paying a shared mortgage, and having kids committed. The outcome of this entire exercise concluded with me buying a MacBook Air, iPad Air, and then a MacBook Pro and iPad Pro. Yup. Was I too impulsive? Let me throw some juicy justification your way, and also to re-establish the logic to myself again. Step 1. Get the lower-end Apple hardware, i.e. the Apple Air lineup. The purpose was to make sure it could accommodate my needs and make sure I felt comfortable jumping back into the Apple ecosystem, while keeping my PC setup just in case things don't pan out. If things played out successfully, I would sell the gear and enter phase 2 of the transition. Step 2. This entailed me buying the higher tier Apple hardware and slowly retiring my PC setup. I bought the higher-end MacBook Pro 14-inch with a 10-core CPU, 16-core GPU, 16GB of RAM, and 1TB SSD storage. I also purchased the iPad Pro 12.9-inch with the M2 chip and 512GB of storage. Step 3. Buckle up and get ready to be super productive. Then finish all those passion projects I had lined up and just do dope creative stuff. So how did it go? Well, I didn't get more than the usual dope creative stuff done, and I didn't get any passion projects done. For some strange reason, it didn't make me a better artist. On top of that, I didn't sell the MacBook Air or the iPad Air. I gave my wife the iPad Air because after months of trying to sell it and people consistently lowballing me, I was exhausted. In regards to the workflow transition, it was a mixed bag. The overall experience has been great so far. I enjoy the hardware and operating system for the most part. For example, this may sound rudimentary, but I adore Spotlight Search. It's just super convenient to just hit the shortcut for the Spotlight Search and open an app. The trackpad is also a delight to work with. It's so buttery smooth. Although I still keep a wireless mouse, just in case I want to do some work in Blender. I know you can use a trackpad in Blender, but I just feel more comfortable with a mouse when I'm doing 3D work. I ran into some trouble with Sidecar, now called Screen Mirror, and Universal Control. For months I had trouble getting these features to work. I even called Apple support. They were generally helpful, but ultimately were unable to help resolve the issue. I solved it though. There was something funky going on with my Apple account, so I created a new one, and it just works now. I miss gaming so much. It's so hard to play games on macOS. Yes, there are games available on the platform, and there are workarounds like parallels and crossover, but the games I want to play just don't work. I mainly enjoy fighting games, like the King of Fighters, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, and so on. Shout out to my fighting game friends. Comment below what's your favorite fighting game. Sadly, none of the new fighting games I like work. On the plus side, the mobility it brought me was amazing. I was no longer tethered to a desk. I could move freely to any part of the house and get work done. Now I can move to the living room and partially ignore my newborn instead of being locked up in my office and completely ignoring him. I don't ignore him. On the downside, I had to figure out how to live without or find replacements for some applications that are Windows only. This wasn't a huge issue, It was so niche that it didn't really bug me that much sometimes. For what this machine is, the performance is okay. This is no fault of the machine, but maybe this tier of the product wasn't designed to accommodate some of the things I wanted to do. For example, what I do professionally involves working in 3D packages, and at times this machine struggles. But when it comes to doing motion design and graphic design work, oh boy, this machine is super proficient at that. This brings me to the point of this video. Should I buy a new MacBook Pro? I think for my situation, yes. I feel as though I should because I'm too deep and I want to see where this rabbit hole takes me. On a serious note, the reason I think I can benefit from a new MacBook Pro is that my current tier of the M1 Pro chip just doesn't cut it sometimes, especially when I'm doing intensive 3D work or a lot of video rendering. The time I can save from a higher end model could potentially give me access to convert that time towards my many passion projects and dope creative stuff. Yeah, but I don't think I'll be making that purchase this year because of two reasons. I don't think the new M2 is a substantial upgrade to justify that purchase at this point. I think I can comfortably wait for the M3 Max. Should you buy a new MacBook Pro? Before you make that decision, please note this will not make you a better artist. Additionally, if you're coming from another OS, then please understand there will be an adjustment period. If your current laptop or desktop works fine and there is no potential value in purchasing one, perhaps some more consideration is required. But if you can find some value in making this purchase and you could potentially recoup your investment within around a year, then I think you have a strong case. Let me know if you're buying a new MacBook Pro, M2 Pro or M2 Max this year. I'd love to hear your point of view on it. Thanks for watching. Please annihilate those like and subscribe buttons with clicks. Thank you. Stay awesome.